Hey there, friends and enemies, JoPaWrites here again, and I've got another Destiny 2 video for you guys. This time going over the TWAB information, really focusing on two things. First, real quick, the new aspects coming for Strand. All three of them look like they could be very, very interesting for various builds, so I'm going to take a peek at those first, then getting into the artifact perks for next season, because they look absolutely insane. So, first and foremost, we got Hunter, which is Threaded Spectre. This is the first, taunt ability that we've ever seen in Destiny 2, as far as I'm aware, and it looks absolutely wild. So I'm going to restart this here, and you'll see they use their dodge ability, leave behind a little decoy, boom, explosion, crazy. I'm in on that. That looks really fire, and I think it's something that could be very useful. Again, I'd love to see more decoys, taunt abilities in Destiny 2 as well, because I think they could be very, very good. Now we're going to the Titan, which is Fletchlet Storm. This looks bananas. I'm going to be using this all the time for sure. And so essentially you slide and then jump and use your multiple melees. Then finally we have the Wanderer for the Warlock. This is the least impressive looking one, in my opinion. You generate a Tangle here, throw it, boom, suspends enemies, which again, this is the best way to potentially suspend enemies on the Warlock subclass. So now jumping into the artifact, those are all very cool. I'm very excited to get hands-on and make builds with them. The artifact, the major thing that we are getting with this artifact that is huge is you will be able to refund perks from the artifact individually, one by one, instead of resetting the entire thing. Massive. That was so annoying, and I'm glad that's getting changed, which is, yeah, it's very exciting, and I love to see that. Now, column 1, we got Anti-Barrier Auto Rifle, Unstoppable Hand Cannon, Overload Scout, Overload Trace Rifle, Unstoppable Glaive. Overload Trace Rifle is probably going to be crazy next season. Once I talk about the rest of the perks, you're going to see why, but there's a lot of reasons why I think Overload Trace Rifles is really going to be viable. Trace Rifles have already been pretty good in PvE, and this is just going to make them better. Glaives, again, we'll see how they work and how successful people are using them. Glaives are solid. I think they're a little bit underrated at times, but I just don't see people using them all the time necessarily. Then we've got the authorized mods Arc, Void, Strand, Melee, and then Technicolor Siphon. Grants access to helmet armor mods that combine the effects of Strand, Siphon, and Arc Siphon. So if you're running a Strand weapon and an Arc subclass or vice versa, you will benefit from this and be able to generate orbs and whatnot with your Strand and your Arc weapons, which is good. Column 3, improved unraveling, increase the amount of damage dealt for unraveling a target. Nice. This will combine, all the artifact perks pretty much combine together to make these combos that are sick. This one actually combines with Strand Soldier. Your Strand weapons gain unraveling rounds whenever you get Woven Mail while your Strand subclass is equipped. As a Titan, I'm generating Woven Mail all the time, and so it's going to be this crazy circle, and I think even better than the Season of Defiance artifact perks if I had to guess. So that's very, very cool. I'm looking forward to that. Then we've got Conductive Cosmic Needle. Targets affected by Strand debuffs take increased damage from Arc and Void subclasses. So essentially, if you're in a fire team and want to use running Strand, you can use the unraveling rounds, debuff the target, and do extra damage for Arc and Void, which you're going to see why I'm talking about that in a second. Now we're going to jump into some of the other perks. We got the Origin perks. I don't really go over those because they're pretty standard. They do increase some of the Origin trait buffs, but again, I think that's pretty niche. I don't really use those as often. Now let's go into the Void ones. Unto the Breach, defeating a Void debuffed targets grants a Void Breach when your Void subclass is equipped. Then you go into Protective Breach, picking up a Void Breach gives you an Overshield or refreshes your existing Overshield. I am so looking forward to this with the changes to no backup plans on my Titan and a shotgun, just that like an infinite Overshield build. Sounds insane. Then finally we've got Supernova, picking up a Void Breach causes your next source of Void damage to create a large weakening pulse. Again, that combination is going to be wild, and you're really going to generate a lot of breaches, I would imagine. You're going to debuff a lot of targets. It's going to be an insane wombo combo, and I cannot wait to see how that works out. So next up, we get to the Arc, and Arc is going to be dominant next season, I promise you. So theory crafting some of the builds, I already know Thunder Crash is going to be good. Gathering Storm is going to be insane. Hopefully, if the buffs to the Arc roaming supers are good. These combinations will make the build potential almost endless. And let's get into why. Electric armor, stay amplified longer while your arc subclass is equipped. Okay, that's nice. Thunderous Retort, grant bonus arc damage, super damage if cast while critically wounded or while amplified. Lasts until the end of the super activation. So, essentially, you're going to be, as long as you're amplified when you cast your super, you're going to be juiced up throughout your super. This will include the duration of the like roaming super, etc. So if you're running something crazy like insurmountable skull fort or something like that, and you're getting your super energy is like lasting way longer. If you're running Crown of Tempest or something, there's ways to extend your super to potentially make this very, very good. Eternal Warrior with that rework could make this pretty insane. So I'm looking forward to testing that out because it sounds like it's going to be awesome. Then we go down and we've got Counter Charge, which is a stack of armor charge when you summon champions. Standard. Amped Up. Gain damage resistance while amplified. I feel like you're going to see a lot of arc in the Crucible next season. Because if you get amplified, so on the Warlock, for example, you can consume your grenade in order to automatically get amplified. And then once you're amplified, you're going to gain damage resistance. And then once you stay amplified longer because of the electric armor, and then plus you'll get bonus arc super damage if you're amplified when you cast it. Oh, and don't forget you'll also get lightning strike twice. So after throwing an arc grenade, gain increased grenade recharge for a short time. I don't know if that's going to count if you consume it instead of throwing it, but if it does, it's going to be insane. And then arc final blows extend the duration. So we're going to see rampant arc in the in the Crucible, I would imagine, and prepare your Risk Runner. That's all I got to say. Prepare your Risk Runner. Anyway, so theory crafting some of the different combos that are going to be very good. Like I already mentioned some of them. You got Thunder Crash and Curus is going to be good. Heart of Inmost Light is probably going to be solid. We've got things like on the Hunter, we've got I believe, Lucky Raspberry potentially will be insane because you'll have improved arc bolt grenade chains. There's just a lot of potential options. The Warlock has multiple options. You will, like I said, Crown of Tempest. That could be insane. Falling Sunstar. There's so many options. That Getaway Artist could be absolutely obnoxious because that's how you're going to amplify yourself. And some of the reworks that we got as well are going to really benefit some of these buffs also. And oh yeah, don't forget Point Contact Brace is going to be Point Contact Cannon Brace is going to be buffed as well. So that way the Thunderclap is going to do even more damage. Season of the Arc. That's what I'm calling it. But I'm excited. I think there's going to be a lot of viable builds to mess with. I'm glad that they still give us Void and Strand as options. Hopefully next season we circle back around and get maybe Stasis to be hot. But yeah, this is all very crazy. I'm very excited. I cannot wait. Those are the main things I want to touch on. I'm going to come up with some builds that I think are going to be absolutely insane next season. But you're going to see a ton of building on this channel for me going forward. So if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Helps me out tremendously. Shows you want to see more content like this from me going forward. My name is JoPa. I hope you have a good one, and I'll catch you all later.